Hello, everybody in video land. And hello, everybody out there in radio land. Hey, we are here, and this is HABSOLUTELY coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q. And I'm going to tell you, rebel. That's all I got to say for today.
Merci beaucoup.
And mercy buckets. Isn't that the way they say it in English?
Merci beaucoup. Bonjour, mon ami. Ça va bien?
Well, my knee's a little bit not ça va bien.
Est-ce que tu bien dormi ce soir?
Yeah, I'm sleeping, yeah. My knee is not sleeping, though. I got a shot in my knee. And if any of you sports people had a shot in your knee of, you usually get cortisone. I get something called Durlane. My knee is not too flexible right now.
I've had a shot to my heart.
You're so vain. You give love a bad name.
And, you know, and what a spectacular evening. I'm sure you slept well after last night.
You know what? Yeah, I was so happy. And I wasn't just happy.
Happy?
Because there was a certain number 92 on the ice. And but I was just happy because it gave us hope. Last night I felt really good, and when I watched the game, I felt really, really, really good about the game.
You didn't think about your knee.
Didn't think about my left knee.
I know, your right knee?
Right knee, and I didn't even think about my weenie. So it was a great night for Montreal Canadian fans. It was a great night.
Well, maybe for one fan, I don't know.
I think
anyway, what an amazing night!
It really was.
I mean, I really so enjoyed last night's match.
Hey, you know what we didn't do? We didn't introduce ourselves.
Oh,
not that we have to. Everybody knows who we are.
Je suis Jean-Louis Filion, et tu?
Paul Calamir.
Mon ami, Paul Calamir.
That's right. Just in case you guys don't know who we are.
And you're listening to HABSOLUTELY on 4680Q.
Yeah.
Like us, subscribe, leave comments. All good.
Don't give any gang signs on here. I don't want people coming up to the studio and bother. You know, these little things people do, right? You don't know what it means anymore. Anyway, last night was fantastic. And I was so happy to see Laine'd on the ice.
Unbelievable.
And he delivered.
You know what? You can't, as so many people have said, in so many different ways, you couldn't have written a better script.
No, not at all. Not at all. That was the beautiful script. He gets out there and he scores a goal. And I'm going to tell you, that goal he scored wasn't just a goal. It was a goal scorer's goal. He rifled that right in that top corner. Unbelievable shot.
Well, not only that, I mean, he, instead of he got the pass from, was it Suzuki or Caulfield?
I think it was, one of the two.
Anyway,
I thought it was Suzuki.
He took the pass, and he didn't just rifle it right away. He held it, and then he let it go. And what a shot is correct. Yeah,
and I'm saying, like, this is what we expected from him. This is what he brings to the table. And I know, it's only one game.
But that's the beauty of it. It's the very first game, and he delivers.
I gotta love it.
You know, that's the beauty.
And you know who was happier than Laine'd scoring that goal?
Well, Cole looked pretty happy.
Caulfield. Yeah. He was up grabbing him. He was like he just found a partner here. Oh boy, this is going to be fun from now on.
I kind of think the whole team was excited about Patrick Laine'd because it's a journey, as you well know, with injury. So you got a knee now, and, last time you got your shot, you felt great. This time, no. Now you got to do some work to feel better.
Yeah.
Laine'd has done an amazing amount of work. I mean, he made a decision 3 months ago saying, I'm not having an operation. I'm going to rehab it this way. And now and everybody's been on pins and needles. Is this going to work? About a week ago, I think he went down in a practice with a hit to the knee, and nobody really knew what was going to happen. I think he alluded on his Instagram account that he was coming back shortly, and now he comes back. He plays a full game, and he delivers.
Yeah,
I mean, he makes an impact on the game.
And you can see, did you see like a whole different attitude on the team? I mean, people were just playing. They look like now they're interested in playing the game again. Monty was out of his mind. He played a great game. Like we've seen him some dogs, but last night he played a really good game.
I think the team realizes everything that this man Laine'd has been going through. They're totally aware of his struggle with mental health, as well as his physical struggle recently with his knee, and the fact that he was drafted, I think, second overall behind Austin Matthews. So that he has an amazing potential. He has a huge ceiling to reach in the National Hockey League. Yeah. So, I mean, just recently, we'll go to football for a quick second. The 49ers were playing in Orchard Park on Sunday night, and Christian McCaffrey, who had been through a similar struggle of injury, started playing in that game, and sadly, his knee went out on him, and he is now on injured reserve. So it's hard for us to understand the struggle and the frustration it is for these elite athletes of being injured and not being able to compete the way they know they can and do things the way they know they can, and they're being physically limited, not because of their age, but because of injury.
Now, I'm going to move this camera a little bit, okay? Just because we got to get more of you in there. You're kind of sitting on the outs. There we go. Okay. You're kind of
I'm close to the edge.
You're close.
But
on the outskirts of town.
I'm down by the river. But amazing.
Yeah, it was.
And so I think that's what the team is appreciating, is the fact that Lonnie's gone through all this struggle of coming to Montreal, and he's been so accepted by the team as well as the fans, and he just loves the environment. He just loves what's going on there, and everybody is celebrating, basically. And and that energy is contagious.
It really is. And I felt it myself sitting home watching on TV. Who's that waving out of the door? Who is that? Look at that. Oh, Drew Deeks. Let's see. Drew Deeks just drove by.
He's trying to get in.
He's taking a lunch break.
He wants to get in and get out.
Well, I hope he does come on in. You can open the door.
Absolutely. So, but really,
I felt it at home. That was what I was getting at.
Here's what I'm going to say. It made me feel like I was watching a Montreal Canadiens hockey game being played in the Forum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember ever thinking that.
Yeah, I just go back to the days of Kovalev and Kovalchuk. And these guys that were on the ice and we're going, these are game changers.
I'm going back to late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, wow.
And that feeling of the Forum, and I'm hearing the horn, da 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 da. I'm hearing the organ, and I'm going, man, there's rafters here. This is not a modern, facility. This is the old Montreal Forum where everybody from the Rocket on to Jean Beliveau, played hockey.
Yeah,
and that's the feeling I'm getting when Laine'd scored that goal.
Yeah, well,
and that's why. I brought this brick in. I brought this brick in. Just in case Paul gives me a hard time, I'm going to hit him in the knee. No. The reason I brought the brick in is because this is from not the Montreal Forum, but where Montreal played hockey previous to the Forum. So back in the day, I used to do a lot of advertising in Montreal through the Sam the Record Man chain.
A brick and
a guy named Paul Cassar, who was the director of sales for Le Magasin de Devoir and Our Magazine in Montreal, Quebec. He knew he was a big Habs fan, of course. I'm a big Habs fan. He said, John, I'm going by this building, and they're tearing it down, and it's an old rink where the Montreal Canadiens would play. And there's bricks piled all over. Would you like one? And I said, absolutely. And so this brick is right from Montreal, from the building where the Canadiens played before they left that building and went to the Forum.
Holy crap. That's history right there.
And this,
I thought it was
my friends, this is a Canadiens keychain logo, which I bought at the Montreal Forum back sometime in the early 80s.
Wow.
And
you got history here.
Well, les histoires, c'est très bien, c'est magnifique.
Yeah, well, it is.
And so what? And that's the way I was feeling last night. I had those feelings of that Montreal Forum, and
that's
and it
just
was all
not
conjured up.
another brick in the wall.
Absolutely.
That's a special brick.
C'est très bien.
Leave those Bruins alone. But we did have an interesting week. We had 4 games this week. The referees needed glasses. The New York and Boston games were interesting from the ref's perspective, to say the least. But the Habs did come away with 2 wins out of the 4, 50%. Basically, I think the wins were expected, the ones that we did get, although with the Habs expectations, sometimes they run higher than the actual results. So I was happy with 2 out of 4. The Islander game, right? Last night was the beginning of the Lucky 11, so we're going to be following those 11 games, 5 at home, 6 on the road, very closely, and it's going to probably talk about our season when we get through those 11 games. But before that,
we're going to go to the fun part of the show,
Habs Trivia.
C'est bon.
Okay, you guys out there in La La Land, we're gonna. This is more of a who am I question.
Oh, it's kind of like
so Vince Hudon and Drew Dix. Pay attention.
Back in the day, they used to do "I Got a Secret."
Yeah.
And what's my line? Right.
That's right. Now it's who am I?
Who am I? I like that.
I was a player who had a lot of success in my career. In junior hockey, I outscored Wayne Gretzky for the league scoring title. He was drafted number 1, or I was drafted number 1, so was he, in the NHL overall and won the Calder Cup as Rookie of the Year.
Réjean Houle. After
winning a Stanley Cup with the Habs, he eventually retired and now owns a team. I eventually retired. I'm supposed to be talking in the third person. I eventually retired and I owned a team in the Quebec Minor Junior Hockey League. Who am I? I'll give you 4 choices.
Okay.
Shane Corson.
I don't think so.
Bobby Smith.
Don't know.
Kirk Muller.
Kirk Muller doesn't own a team. He was coaching.
Fran Huck.
Fran Huck? Never heard of.
There's your 4 choices. One of those 4.
So Bobby Smith?
Shane Corson. You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Bobby Smith.
Yep. I'm going to take Bobby Smith.
Okay, Kirk Muller. You don't like that?
I love Kirk Muller, but I believe I don't believe he ever bought a team. He's a coach.
And you have no faith in Fran Huck?
Fran Huck? It could. I mean, I don't know who Fran Huck is. Maybe it is Fran Huck. But
Fran Huck.
I'm taking Bobby Smith, who played for the Minnesota North Stars, and then came to the Montreal Canadiens.
What do you think out there in La La Land, in Video Land?
You know, Bobby Smith was a great center.
Well, the correct answer is Bobby Smith.
All right.
You are correct.
C'est bon.
Number 15 on the Habs. Born in Sydney, Nova Scotia, growing up in Ottawa, Smith played his junior hockey for the Ottawa 67s, and in the 1977-78 season, set the league record, which still stands today, for most assists, 123, and most points.
123 assists. Played in how many games?
I don't know what they played.
60?
Maybe.
123 assists.
And
phenomenal.
And most points, 192 points.
C'est magnifique.
In one season.
That's like 3 points a game.
The 20-year-old Smith beat out 17-year-old Wayne Gretzky. He had 182 points for the scoring title that year. He was drafted number 1 overall in the 78 amateur draft by the Minnesota North Stars, winning the Calder Trophy in the 79 season. And he won the Stanley Cup, La Coupe de Stanley, in the Habs' remarkable 1986 Cup run.
C'est très bien.
Now, he played 7 seasons for the Habs. He played a lot.
I was excited. And he played a lot for Minnesota.
Yeah, I was excited when he came back, when he came over to the Habs in the trade.
Solid player.
He was traded from the North Stars, accumulated 357 goals, 679 assists in his NHL career for 1,036 points, with 43 goals in the 81-82 season with the North Stars. And he was a 30-goal man with the Habs for 2 seasons, 85-86 and 88-89.
Playmaker.
He was. And I remember Bobby Smith, and I really liked Bobby Smith when he came over.
Oh, fabulous player all the way through. I mean, I liked him when he played for the Stars.
And he was a center. And Fran Huck did play for the Montreal Canadiens.
He did. What year?
Oh, who
1932?
knows? I think he was in the maybe in the one of the Stanley Cup years, 70, 71.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because I looked up Stanley Cup teams, so
Holy Huck.
Holy Huck.
That's all I can say.
He was a real
Holy Huck.
He was a real puck. Hucky puck. Wasn't that Pierre Puck?
Pierre
Huck. What if his name was Pierre Huck?
Pierre Huck.
He could have got charged them with stealing his logo or something. He finished his career in Minnesota, Bobby Smith. He went back to Minnesota, and he became the majority owner of the Halifax Mooseheads.
The Mooseheads.
In the Quebec Minor Junior Hockey League, and served as head coach for them in the 2010-2011 season. He was also the general manager of the Coyotes from 1996 to 2000.
There you go.
So not only did he play for the Habs, not only did he beat Gretzky for the scoring title, not only was he a first pick and a Calder Cup winner his first year in the NHL, but he also was a general manager and part owner of a hockey team.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Is he in the Hockey Hall of Fame?
That's a great question. I don't know.
We'll have to find out.
I don't know. Is Bobby Smith, anybody out there? Vince Houdan.
Love to know. Is Bobby Smith in the Hockey Hall of Fame?
Yeah, Vince Houdan. He would know.
Like, do you think he should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame with everything you just mentioned?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And the reason I don't is because all his junior accolades is great, but in the big picture in the NHL, I mean, 1,036 points, okay, that's good. He played a lot of seasons, that's good, but I mean, he won one Stanley Cup with the Habs. Is that enough to get you in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I mean, he's a bit of a builder as well, right? Because he's like GM of the Coyotes.
Yeah, and he
owns a hockey team.
Yeah, minor league hockey team.
He's made some major contributions to the sport of hockey. Like, it sounds like his whole life has been focused on hockey.
Yeah, it has been. So maybe he's in there. I don't know. I think there's other guys who got to get in still who aren't in.
I mean, he hasn't been gambling like Wayne Gretzky. So I think he might deserve a shot.
Well, anyway, that's it. Bobby Smith. That's our Who Am I Habs trivia question today.
Well, that was one of my favorite Habs trivia days. I'll tell you that.
Well, anybody out there, I mean, we go back through these memories, right? And guys who like Bobby Smith, I forgot all about that guy until I saw a thing and I'm going,
as soon as you say Bobby Smith, I see that bright, I don't know, kind of a disturbing emerald green
of the Minnesota
North Stars with that big M with a star.
Yeah, the star coming out of the top, yellow and green. And,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Cesar Maniego?
Yeah. Cesar Maniego.
He played there.
Played for them. I mean, that then you're going to like St. Louis playing Minnesota to see who's going to play in the Cup final against keep the Canadian. Every year. Exactly.
Oh, so let's get to some video comments.
Okay,
we're going to get to some video comments from our good friend Drew Deeks, who just drove by around the block there. I don't know what he's doing, but he's
circling.
He's circling. He said Mike Condon was in net for the Winter Classic against the Bruins. And I said, yeah, that's right. He's right.
Absolutely.
And we were trying to figure it out last week. We thought it might have been Price. And Price was on the team then, but he only played 12 games that year.
So he must have been injured.
He was either injured or it was his maybe first year or something.
MIA?
Yeah, something like that. But I never even remembered Mike Condon, to be honest with you. Mike Condon. I never even remembered him. He played for the Habs that season, played 55 games before he was moved to the Senators the next year. How about that? The backup, Ben Scrivens. No, I think he was moved to the Senators that year. And the backup, Ben Scrivens.
Who?
Yeah, didn't Ben Scrivens play for the Leafs? I think he did.
I have no idea who played for the Leafs.
He played 15 games that year, and CP was on the team but only got 12 games in that year. Drew Deeks also said Michael Hage is a center with size. His ceiling could be higher than Doc.
I believe that's true.
Me too. The way the reports
Michael Hage has been playing. He's been lighting it up.
Yeah, the reports coming out of where's he playing for? Michigan or somewhere?
Yeah.
Wherever he's playing for. Is that what he's
I
playing
believe
for?
so.
Yeah. The reports coming out are stellar.
Yeah, I can't wait for Michael Hage to on board.
Size, skill, grit, and lots of passion. He could be the second center of the future. Doc third, Beck fourth. Sounds good to me.
Sounds fabulous. But I mean, like, let's stop for 1 second. When you say size, I'm thinking of number 92 last night.
6'4".
Did you see him on the
that
ice?
whole line?
6'4",
6'3", 6'3".
A huge stick.
Oh, I don't know about that.
A long stick.
Well, I'd never seen a stick.
Oh, I saw it last night.
Are you talking a hockey stick?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's a different story. I saw that. And actually, the commentator made a comment about that.
Did he?
Did you hear it?
No, I didn't.
He said the reason Doc got that goal is because his stick is so
the reason
long.
Laine'd got that goal.
Or Laine'd got that goal. Yeah.
You said
talking about Doc's stick?
No, Laine'd's stick.
Okay. He said the reason Laine'd got 92. That goal was because his stick is long and he shoots it off the front part of the stick. So
off
he
the toe.
gets it out, off the toe blink.
Not the heel.
Not the heel, the toe. So he shoots it off the toe. And the stick's so long it's out there. And the goaltenders, when they're looking at him, they look at his feet and they expect the stick to be kind of close to his body, but it's out. So they're playing it like he's shooting from here, but he's really shooting from here. And he's able to get it up in that corner like that because his stick is longer. You think that's a point?
That's a possibility for sure. Yeah,
do?
Absolutely. And that's why you're seeing guys like Cole who shoot right, shooting from the left-hand side, because your stick sees more net.
Yeah, right.
And what he's talking about is the stick being more extended and seeing more net.
Yeah, and the goalie's playing it like it's a little bit closer. Like they can't understand
It's the angle. It's all about the angle.
Angle of the stick.
And we'll talk about angle later.
Kurt Angle. You know who Kurt Angle is?
No.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Vince Hudon, I bet you knows who Kurt, because Vince says a few thoughts from me. And, Vince is really good at analyzing the game. He does a big, long thing usually on our posts.
Yes.
So I'm not going to read them all. But he does give a good analysis of it. He's pretty good at that.
He's very serious.
He's very wise, savvy with the game. A few thoughts from me. I think the Habs are in a downfall at the moment, but things will hopefully change. We must always keep in mind how young the team is, second youngest in the NHL. I believe they are. Once Laine is back and the boys get back to playing hard, that's what's missing. They should turn it around somewhat. And I think what Vince was talking about, we saw last night.
Well, I think you saw what Vince was talking about in the last 4 games.
Yeah.
I.e., we played, was it the Blue Jackets? And then we played last night we played the Islanders. So both those teams are really relatively in the same kind of record
as us.
Mm-hmm. We're really playing teams that are kind of equivalent at this point in their performance. And so for us to beat both teams is, it's something that is that we can reach. Okay? And so we need to take advantage of those situations and win those situations.
Yeah, and I think that
when we go up against the Rangers, they're probably a little better than we are at this point. Yeah, but we played very well against them.
Yeah, we only lost by a goal.
We played very well against them, and same as playing the Bruins. So I think that's kind of what Vince is saying at the very end there, where he's saying, we can do better, but relatively speaking, like within our means, we'll call it within our means at this point, because we are the 31st youngest team or whatever, or the second youngest team.
And he also went on to talk about the prospects we have, and he's right. We have a ton of good prospects just waiting to be onboarded. So, let's see. Let's get through these lucky 11. Let us get through the season. And then we'll see some of these prospects coming on board. There's going to be contracts that are dropping off. And so for now, everything's probably going to stay like it is now. I don't think you're going to see a lot of changes.
No, you're not going to see a lot of movement depending on, a few things. I mean, hopefully injuries don't, come into play. But I think the key thing now is it's like doing things well. I mean, last night, for instance, Laine'd had the puck and he was going deep into our zone, into the D zone, and he rattled the puck off the boards. And who's the defenseman I'm thinking of? Struble. He went to get the puck, and it was maybe a little hard off the boards. He couldn't control it, and it became a turnover in our zone. Fortunately, Monty made the save, but that's a situation that easily leads to a goal. And those are the mistakes that we have to correct. And that's again, now with Laine'd coming onto the team, people getting used to how he plays, him as well getting used to his strength against, making a pass with a puck off the boards. All that stuff are things that we have to work on constantly and diligently and being aware of.
Did you like
and that's what MSL is always talking about.
Did you like that move to put New Hook on with Susie and Caulfield, and then have that second line, Laine'd, Doc, and Slavkovsky? Did you like that?
I think that could be brilliant.
I think it could be. I really liked it. They have to get used to playing with each other, but at the end of the day, I think
it could be brilliant. You're going to have like 13, 14, and 15, so it's easy to remember who's on the ice. But the beauty of that is their speed. So you've got 3 speedy guys. Then you got 3 large guys, Doc, Laine'd, and Slavkovsky. And they're going to be a more physical line. I think at one point, once these guys get playing together, that could be the first line.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for big things.
I'd like to see the first line be the big line in size, and then them be able to actually punish a few players, and then get the second line of our opponent playing against this speedy line of goal scorers of New Hook, Suzuki, and Cece. And I mean, like New Hook, can be brilliant. I mean, I saw him make a pass from behind the net that Suzuki almost had a goal from. So, like, it could be a great little speed line.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch it as it progresses because they're getting used to each other right now. But I'm hoping it really jumps a fire under Kirby Doc. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's at his floor right now. He's not really that great, but I think he's got a lot more to offer. And I think we're going to see it. And same with Slavkovsky. We know what he can do. Now I think we're going to see it a little bit more.
Here's what we're seeing as well. So you've got Slav is 20. Doc is what, 23 maybe?
Yeah,
Doc has only played maybe 70 or 80 games in the NHL. Laine'd is 26, and he's probably played 200 or 300 games, I think. So Laine'd really knows what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, he knows how to play hockey. He's played a number of NHL games. But Doc and Slav are still getting their footing. And Slav is a little younger, and Doc, and Doc too will definitely appreciate the fact that how Laine'd has come back from an injury. Doc last night had a brilliant opportunity to score a goal, and he shot the puck, to me, into the goalie's catching glove. Now, it looked like a great save. And as a goalie, I'd say, yeah, I made a great save. So every save that you make is a great save. But some saves are maybe easier than others. And when somebody shoots the puck in your glove, it's a little easier than some of the other saves. And that's what's got to come with these guys, is that these opportunities, you put yourself in a position to score. Now you have to say, what's my best route to scoring? How do I deal with the goaltender in front of me? Cece had a breakaway at one point. The goaltender for the Islanders was well above his crease line. He has the angle at that point on a shot. And Cece chose to shoot the puck. Cece's got to drive to the net, much like many of the Rangers were doing to Primo, and score goals. Because that's what they did to Primo all night. that game that Primo played, he played as well as he could, but he had Rangers in front of him constantly without any help.
And the Rangers play that kind of game. Kreider, these guys. That's how they play.
And so did Boston. Actually, I'm talking the Boston game, right? It was Boston and Primo.
Yeah, Boston.
It was the Bruins and Primo.
Yeah, Primo played against Boston.
And the Bruins were taking that puck to the net, and Primo had no help. They were driving on breakaways, and they were scoring goals. And that's what CC had to do, but CC took a shot. Those are the things that we're making those opportunities for ourselves, but we need to take advantage of then the best decision at that point to score a goal.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's get back, just kind of go through the games a little bit one at a time.
Sure.
Columbus, we were away. We won 4-3 in overtime. I thought we played a decent enough game, and Primo held the fort so the Habs could get into overtime and give Susie the chance to score. And I was surprised to see Primo play in that game, weren't you?
No, I thought he had to play Primo at one point, and I think he said, okay, I'm going to play Primo now because I want what I believe is my best goaltender, Monty, going against the best team we're playing out of the four, the Rangers. That's why I think he chose Primo.
Yeah, and Primo, he laid down an 875 for the win. It was like kind of like two bad teams playing each other, but we came out on top on a back-to-back night for us, so I was very happy about that game. And we had several comebacks during the game to seal the deal. Caulfield did get number 13.
Yes, which was
Columbus.
Which was very satisfying.
Well, it wasn't satisfying because he never got a standing ovation I thought he'd get. You said he would.
I said he wouldn't because, I mean, how can you
Johnny Hockey. 13,
yeah, but Johnny Hockey would not want to lose to the Montreal Canadiens.
Well,
okay, so let's keep the perspective.
Like
what I did like is that when they sang the national anthem, it was in French.
Yeah. Like, interesting.
Why can they do that in Columbus and they can't do that in Toronto? I have a real problem with that.
Columbus has respect.
Absolutely.
That's all I can say.
Wow. Absolutely.
I noticed that. I found that. I'm going, wow. I saw that same as you did. I'm going, he's singing in French.
Yes.
Maybe the other guys don't know enough French to sing it in French.
Props to Columbus.
Yeah, props to Columbus. Now, the Rangers, we were away. We lost 4-3, so that was a pretty close game. The Habs played good enough, although Sammy laid down an egg of an 857. Quick wasn't much better. But the refs, they're reffing another game. Doc took a late 4-minute high-sticking penalty in the game. That sealed the deal. 6 power plays, 4 Rangers. 3 for Habs.
6
Rangers
power plays.
Yeah, 6 power plays for the Rangers, 3 for the Habs.
So not just 1 or 2, 6.
And the Rangers got 3 of their 4 goals on the power play.
You're defeating yourself when you take bad penalties.
Well, the refs they were looking a little bit wonky that game. Sometimes I have to question. I don't use that as an excuse.
It was after Black Friday, right?
I mean, Doc should have been a little. Too bad he got that penalty at the end of the game. I think we would have went into overtime, and
they were probably out shopping at Bergdorf Goodman the night before.
Macy's, right after the parade. Now, we played the Bruins back-to-back away. We lost 6-3. And it was a goofy game, with Primo getting the start. And once again, I have to wonder what game the refs were watching. I mean, I saw Jack Guy there, and he's fighting a guy, and the ref gets in between them, and they wouldn't let him fight. And then Frederick jumps in. He doesn't get an instigator penalty. There was a lot of wonky things in that game.
Didn't Jack Guy punch a referee?
Well, the referee shouldn't have been in between these two guys. They were going to go at it. Kostaic, I think his name is, or something like that. And he should have let him go. I don't know why he got in the middle of them. They're throwing punches. And
so, were there any repercussions on that? No,
nothing. Because it's like, do you remember about maybe a month ago, the Boston player swung a stick and hit the referee on the arm? Remember that game?
No, I don't.
But the referee was kind of in the way. The guy did, he's swinging the stick around and he hit him in the arm. And everybody's yelling for a suspension. He hit the referee with the stick, and they understood that. No, that was just. It was kind of like those penalties where you get a high sticking, but if it's part of your shot or something and you high stick somebody, they don't give you a penalty. So he never got anything for it. They were yelling about that. Was kind of that kind of a thing, you know. He didn't throw a punch at the ref. He was throwing a punch at the other guy, and the ref for some reason was in between them. They wouldn't let him go at it. But we got in bad trouble right away. They scored 3 goals, 70 seconds, and walked off with a 3-0 lead on 7 shots in the first period. So right there, you're going, oh my God, why do we have to do this against Boston of all the teams?
Well, it was their centenary or whatever.
Yeah, it was their centennial. Well, Hammonegger came out of the crowd. But we never did close the gap. But CC got 2 goals, and Heineman scored a beauty.
Heineman's playing extremely well.
He's got 6 goals, that guy.
He's playing very well.
I like him, and I like it. He's got a shot from heaven, man.
He's got a great shot.
Guy, yeah.
And he also knows how to score on a breakaway. So
he's good.
If you're going to if you go into overtime, you're going to shootout,
Heineman,
he's definitely a consideration.
He's 1 for 1. I think he's had 1 shot at it, and he scored the goal. Him and what's his name got a goal too that night. Who was the other guy up there with him?
The guy who's in Finland.
Yeah, that guy.
Yes.
And by the way, they sent Patrick Wawa down there, whatever his name is, Joshua Waugh.
Patrick Waugh.
He went down, Joshua Waugh.
That was kind of nice too to beat Patrick Waugh last night.
It was. All in black,
and that's why it felt kind of like the Forum. It's like how you'd have other teams coming back to play in the Forum, and the coach had been with a previous team, and he almost becomes like an arch enemy, and Patrick Waugh, as much as I love Patrick, when he's not with the Montreal Canadiens, he's an arch enemy.
Yeah, he is. And he was wearing all black to prove it.
Oh, yeah, and he was trying to do the wink, even. I think whoever scored the first goal for the Islanders, give him the wink.
Yeah.
Okay, Patrick.
Funny stuff. What's his name? CC got 2, right? So he's up to 16 goals.
CC's playing brilliant.
Everybody was mad at me on the internet.
Pourquoi?
Well, because I said, who does anybody think that Coffey will get more goals than Habs will get points this year?
Oh, well.
Like, Habs had 19 points.
Right.
Caulfield had 16 goals. So I'm going, is it possible he could get more goals if he gets, say, 60 and Habs won't get 60 points? And everybody's going crazy. I'm not going to do that. That's impossible. Habs are going to get more than 60 points. Caulfield's not going to get 60 goals.
C'est possible.
Yeah, it was a good conversation, but they're mad at me for saying that. Islanders, we were at home. We won 2-1 in overtime, which is fantastic. And guess who scored the overtime goal?
Susie.
The same guy who scored the overtime goal against Columbus.
That's right. Back to back.
I love
Bookends.
it. I love it.
Bookends for Susie.
And this was the first game of the Lucky 11 in our 5-game homestand. Laine'd was back, and it seemed to give the Habs a whole new look. Yeah, the Islanders are nothing to write home about, but the Habs seemed more energized last night than I've seen them in a long time. The power play looked dangerous, John. It looked great. I love the power play.
The power play is great.
Man, oh man. Talk about controlling the puck.
The atmosphere. The atmosphere at the Bell Center was like a game from the Forum in the late 70s, early 80s. Fabulous.
Yeah, it was fabulous. Sammy put on a show. He played a great game, Sammy Montembeault. And Laine'd did what he was hired for, and El Capitano wrapped it up in overtime.
So, Monty, there's a lot of talk about Monty. I guess he is going to be the goaltender for Canada in the series that's coming up.
Yeah, what's it called?
Gary Bettman has dreamed up.
Yeah.
And who
else?
Kudos to Monty for being as successful as he is. And I think we have to realize that, a lot of times we put those Hab goalies down, but a lot of times they are playing by themselves. And I think the big concept,
playing with themselves.
No, playing by themselves. Okay. And there's a big difference to that. And the team has to defensively come together. That's my biggest criticism of the team over the last 4 games is the way they play defensively. sometimes.
I think they're getting better though. Gooley had a great game last night. He played a really good game.
Gooley may have played solid, but I mean, like, guys like, Savard, sometimes he gets caught and they're out of the mix. Savard was coming back, or somebody was coming back on, I think, the first goal, and Savard is telling somebody, maybe Jack, where to go. They get mixed up. The next thing you know, or Pasterson or somebody is going around the net and putting it in, and everybody's looking at everybody like, who had him? So you can't go from playing kind of like position hockey to man-on-man hockey and then back to position hockey as such, because it gets confusing.
Yeah, and
Matheson too. I mean, as much as Matheson contributes to the offense, at times he looks like a stumbling buffoon defensively.
He pulled Boner.
He
pulled a Boner a couple times. But you know what? I'm watching them improve all the time. Lane Hudson with Laine'd and that power play is just going to be. I can't wait for him to get his first goal. Everybody's going to be going crazy. When he puts the puck in the net.
I mean, everybody wants to see Lane Hudson score a goal.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy with the way Lane Hudson is playing and progressing. That's the key, is continue to progress, be offensive minded, but continue to progress in your defensive game.
I'm just amazed with how.
I mean, I saw him trying to block pucks. I mean, this is not Savard, who's a little thicker. Like, there's not much to Lane Hudson there, and he's out there, and I'm worried if he gets hit by a puck.
Well, it's funny. The guy was coming down on him. He just
coming what?
He was not going. He was coming down the ice.
Oh,
and he stood in front of that guy, and he broke up that play. It was beautiful. He's like a pipsqueak compared to the other defenseman.
So, like soaking wet, he might be 160 pounds.
Yeah, but he's getting the hang of it now, and you can see him. It's really funny. You can see him progressing every game. He's getting just a little bit better at this. And the guy is a brainiac. He's smart. He knows when he does something wrong. He learns from it. Well, and that's so important.
Not only that, he's now playing with the big boys, right? It's like, we've got Demidov over in Russia, and everybody's excited about Demidov playing in a men's league. Well, guess what? We got Lane Hudson playing in the men's league.
Yeah.
Right now, the best men's league. And that's the key, is that Lane Hudson is getting this experience at the age of 20, I guess, 21.
Yeah.
And Lane Hudson, just like, a lot of people talk about hope, and I'm not a big believer in the word hope, but I do like the word imagine. And just imagine what Lane Hudson's going to be like in 4 years' time.
Oh yeah, he's already one of the leading scorers in the rookies. And they're calling him up there with Makar and these guys.
Just imagine what Lane Hudson is going to be like 4 years from now, playing in the NHL.
Forget about it.
And that's what we have to look for. That's what we have to look forward to. That's what we're working on. I mean, and it's like Slav. Slav said he had his best game. He's finally had a game that he was happy with. And from my understanding, Slav got a big talking to on Monday or Tuesday from Monsieur Hughes.
Oh, Mr. Hughes.
Monsieur Hughes went and spoke to Slav. We have to remember, Slav is still a young man. He's still like 21. He's probably sitting in his apartment right now playing Nintendo games. He's still got a lot to learn, and again, so imagine Slavkovsky in 4 years, and that's the great thing of him being on the line, him and Kirby Dach being on the line with a guy named Patrick Laine'd. I mean, Patrick has been through like a lifetime already. He's been through this major struggle of mental health. He's been through playing with a team and having all these expectations. He's grown up and now knows what it's like to play in the NHL. He now wants to fight, and it's so important for him to contribute to success. And he's got something to prove. And this is the type of stuff that he can mentor back now to Doc and Slafkovsky.
It's going to be
So
great.
that's why I'm excited to have a line where you're going to have Slafkovsky and Doc. They're going to be held accountable to Patrick Laine'd.
That's right.
That's the difference.
That's the difference right there. Now, let's go through some stats. Habs are now 9-13-3 after 25 games and a -24, second worst plus minus in the league. They're last in their division, 30th in the NHL, 6 points behind the Flyers for a wild card spot. So you know what? Even though we haven't really had a great 25 games, you got to admit that, we are only 6 points out. If we come through the lucky 11 gleaming, we might be right up there with the Flyers. And we're only 8 points behind the Bruins for the third spot in our division. 8 points. That's not a lot with 60. What they got? How many games they got? 25 from 82. 57 games.
Good math.
I was taught well by Mr. Tonin. Fred Tonin. So Laine'd coming back appears to have given the Habs a new outlook. We'll see how long that lasts. If we can get consistent goaltending, who knows? We have 57 games to make our move, and lucky 11 will make or break the season. Our PK is doing great. 82.6%, fifth in the NHL.
Our PK and our PP is doing very well.
You know what's funny? We always yell and scream about the defense, but our PK is great. And I'm hoping with Laine'd we can move our power play up a few percentage points. They're 21.5%, and we're running 15th in the NHL right now from the power play. And those two numbers, I always add them up.
Listen, PK is one thing, but defense 5-on-5 is another.
Yeah, well, that's another problem. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
And breakaways will kill you.
Oh yeah, they get.
Really,
a lot of 2-on-1s and stuff. They get
the puck on a breakaway. I mean, the guy who's got the puck knows where the puck is going, not the goalie.
Sure enough.
Say two.
So we played Columbus, Rangers, Bruins, Islanders. John, you said we'd lose against Columbus and the Rangers. We beat the Bruins and beat the Islanders. I said we'd lose them all.
You said we'd lose them all?
All of them. Yeah, I got it right down here.
So you're totally wrong.
Well, after that Vegas and Utah and those games, I'm going like, forget about it. We're not beating anybody. But we won the Columbus game, lost the Rangers and Bruins, and won the Islanders. So you basically had
two out of two
wins. You just didn't have the right two, but at least you were more optimistic than I was.
Absolutely.
Now this week we play Nashville.
So we play Nashville on Thursday?
We play Nashville on Thursday, the second game of the Lucky 11.
And that's in Montreal.
That is at home in Montreal.
C'est bon.
Win or lose,
C'est très bien. C'est bon.
Win or lose, mi amigo.
Nashville. How are Nashville doing?
Middle of the pack. I don't think they're fantastic. I think
we're going to win that game.
I said a loss. Now, Caps.
That's on Saturday night at LaBelle Center.
Yeah,
we're playing the Washington Caps without Ovi.
Yes.
We're going to win.
I got a win down. I gave them that win. Now, the Anaheim Ducks at home, that's going to be the fourth game, or the fourth game of the Lucky 11.
Yeah. And that what day is that? Is that Tuesday?
That's probably Monday, I think. I think it's Monday.
Is that a Prime Video game?
So it could be a Prime Video game.
Let's have a look here.
No, I gave them a loss, but you know what? Don't be surprised if they win it. Only because the Ducks are coming east. And when teams come east, they always have a tougher time, although that hasn't been proven against the Habs this year. The teams come east and they seem to do better. But I got it down for a loss. But if they won it in a close game, maybe an overtime game, I wouldn't be surprised. Let me put it that way.
So it is a Monday night game.
Yes.
Against Anaheim.
Against Anaheimer.
And Anaheim right now have a 10-10-3 record. We have a 9-13-3 record. Anaheim is in what do they call that when you look through the rifle, and they're in our sights. So we can definitely take Anaheim.
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna get
that's a win.
There's 3 wins in a row of the
Washington could be the toughest game, but no, those games are all in our wheelhouse.
Yeah. Well, if we can win those three, I'm going to tell you that would be 4 out of 4 in the first set of the Lucky 11. That would be unbelievable.
All those games are in our wheelhouse.
And you know what I'm talking about, like a team like the Ducks. We go in with a tie or something. Laine'd could be the guy who breaks one of these games open, whereas we get to these power plays and our power play is going to be better, and that could really make a difference.
Well, think about the power play was Laine'd and Lane Hudson.
Yeah.
Right? So 2 guys who weren't on the power play last year because they weren't on the team last year.
That's right.
Big difference.
Big difference. And, I noticed that a lot of times on our power play before Laine'd got there, the moves were so telegraphed. Everybody's looking for Caulfield to get the puck. Everybody, let's face it. They were looking for that puck to go over to number 22, now 13, and take that shot from the side. And that's kind of where he works his best magic.
And you know what? He was there at the beginning of that power play where 92 scored, and then they slid it around, and 92 took his place.
Yeah, exactly. And so all of a sudden, we have a new dynamic. Like, okay, cover Cole Caulfield. Cover him. Go ahead. What about Laine'd? What are you going to do with him? And what about Hudson?
And
then walk in and score a goal.
And you have Slab in front of the netminder.
I mean, this adds a whole new dimension. And you saw it. And that was their first power play together. You saw that they controlled the puck. The other team hardly touched the puck. The others hardly touched the puck. And that power play was going back and forth and back and forth. Them guys sliding around, like you said, Caulfield sliding around and Laine'd sliding into that spot at the top of the circle. I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Teams better watch out. When this power play gets together and really is used to playing each other,
as well.
Watch out.
As well, I think you're going to get more production out of Slab and Doc because they're playing with Laine'd.
Yeah, and he knows how to set up a play, Laine'd, too.
And that's gonna change the dynamic of the team.
Yeah, you get these guys putting a few pucks in the net, they're going to be a lot happier and a lot more confident, and that could lead to some really spectacular things from that line.
Not only that, I mean, Anderson had a pretty good game last night.
He did. An excellent game.
He played a very good game. And think about this. For the last 3 weeks, we've been coming in here and we've been saying Gallagher. We haven't mentioned him until just now.
I know. And you know what? He had a good game.
We haven't spoken. Exactly.
He had a good game
Exactly.
yesterday.
But we have not mentioned him yet. That says a lot for what's going on.
It really does, because we'd be talking about him. He's got 8 goals, or what has he got? 8 goals. Or something?
I mean, he was like our savior.
Yeah. So, and he still is, but now we have other people that are.
We have other people contributing, and that's the key. Everybody has to contribute for success.
They really do. They really do. Hear that phone ringing? That's probably Marty St. Louis right now. Give us a call and thanking us for helping him out here. We get those calls all the time.
There he is.
The 12 de la semaine dernière.
Wow, what a night, eh?
Oh.
And that's why I came in today and I said, merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay, so of course, the 12, the third star for me is Nick Suzuki.
Okay.
Bookend winning goals. If you play, anytime you score the winning goal of a game, that's a big deal. He got 2. We won 2 games. Nick Suzuki got both goals
in the OT.
Okay. My deuxième étoile, my second star is Emil Heineman, because he's playing incredibly well. He's doing everything that MSL is really asking of players to do on this team, and it pays off. And he does put points up, and it's helping the team to produce.
And Heineman's a really, really weird case, because they said he's got 6 goals, and I'm going, he does? When did he get them? He's doing it, even though he's kind of on the sly, like he's out there doing it, scoring goals, and 6 goals. When did he get 6? but he doesn't. He's probably going to get 20 goals this year.
I mean, he's playing like we need players like Jake Evans to play, and Jake has been playing extremely well, like a Brendan Gallagher. He's being responsible, and that's all you can ask is for your players to be responsible for what you ask them to do.
And the Premier Étoile, the first star,
and le Premier Étoile is merci beaucoup, as he spoke last night when he was finished being interviewed for being the first star last night, Patrick Laine'd.
Yeah, you can't argue that one. And I got him as my first as well. I mean, he comes back, scores a goal, Habs win the game. A shot of adrenaline for the Habs. Let's see if they can keep doing it. But man, oh man, I think a lot of people are so happy right now.
Oh.
And how can you not give them first star?
Generally, I turn on YouTube and the first thing I see is you.
Yeah.
That's scary. I won't get in. I won't get into that or make a comment. Okay.
I got the brick right here. So
exactly. I'm not saying nothing. But it was all news about Patrick Laine'd. Everybody who had a Habs podcast wanted to get on air and go, "Wow, like fabulous." So that's great. What I like in the way the reason he's my first star is this guy has gone and done battle. He came to Montreal, new environment, getting over his challenge with mental health, getting over his physical challenges as well. Started to play hockey and then got smacked in the knee. And what did he do? He didn't sulk. He said, I'm going to get advice, not from just one person, from many people. I'm going to make an intelligent decision, after careful considerations, and then I'm going to do the work. And that's exactly what he did. No showboating, no pictures of Patrick Laine'd, at La Ronde or anything like that, and he did the work, and then he came back after he felt comfortable that he could contribute to the team. And the first thing he does, contribute.
Yeah. How can you?
And then he gets accolades like crazy, and he is so humble. But the other thing that so impressed me was that little pass he tried to make in his own zone, very creative, to Struble. Struble just wasn't ready because he doesn't know Laine'd. And number two, Laine'd's size. His size out there.
Big.
He looked large. And that stick, he is going to really make his mark on this team.
Large and in charge.
I think he can really make his mark on this team, not only in his performance, but in mentoring this team. And I think this team is going to take a look and say, hey, look what this guy did. This guy, he got injured. He worked hard. He got back on the team before, when Laine'd got injured, everybody was going January, February. It's December the 2nd, 3rd, and he's back.
Yeah, and that's an inspiration to the team.
Absolutely. It should be an inspiration to any Habs fan.
I'm inspired.
Any Habs fan out there, live up to Laine'd's ideal.
I'm gonna get my knee back in order.
Habs,
like Patrick.
Absolutely. You're gonna start training with me.
yeah, no way.
I'm going to have you walking those hills in Calogero Estates.
I don't look like I walk too much, I'll tell you that. Number 2 star for me is CC. I mean, Cole Caulfield, the bright star in a sometimes frustrating team. He's got 16 goals, right up there with the best of them. I mean, we're lucky to have this kid on the team, and I really appreciate his couple goals against Boston. And just what I really like about Cole Caulfield, he's got tons of talent. He can get the job done. His enthusiasm. This guy has got 16 goals. He scored number 16. It looked like it was his first goal of his career. He's yelling his career. When other people score, he's yelling.
Like you say, he went and hugged Laine'd right after he scored. He looked happier than any of the goals he's ever scored.
Yeah, anybody who watched that game would have thought he scored the goal.
Fabulous. Yeah, I mean, and for him to, little Cole, try to lift up Patrick, come on.
Well, he was jumping up, hitting him like this, trying to hit him on the helmet, tap him on the helmet. He's jumping. I mean, it was just a really neat thing, you know. Like, is Caulfield threatened because Laine'd's going to be there taking some of his goals away, which will probably happen?
No, that's not. First of all, that's not going to happen.
He's a team guy.
Actually, hopefully, we're going to score more goals.
That's right.
That's the way. That's the way it should be working. Now, but the good thing about
an attitude.
But the good thing about CC is he's still learning. He still has room to go higher with his ceiling. Like I say, last night, if he had taken that puck and drove to the net and tried to deke out the goalie, I think he would have had more of an opportunity to having a goal last night.
And my third star is Lane Hudson. I mean, this kid continues to impress and is getting better every game. You can see it. You can see him developing. Yeah, he makes mistakes. He's a quick learner and seems to be getting his game together. 25 games in. That's all he's got.
Wait, no. He's played 27 games. Come on now. Yeah, he played 2 last year.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's right. They showcased him last year for a couple. But you always feel
27 games. That's nothing.
But you always feel that when he's on the ice, something is going to happen. And with him dealing to Laine and CC on the power play, well, ladies and gentlemen out there in Habs land, magic is about to happen on every power play. Mark my words. This is the start of something good. And I just can't wait to see it. I'm over the top.
This could be an incredible power play.
It's really going to set up. I'm telling you, it's going to be something to watch every game. You know, we get power plays where, oh, geez, you know, we're better off not having it. Well, not anymore. Not anymore.
So now when you have a line like Slav and Doc and Laine, big guys going out there and starting to crush people, then you get frustration happening up from your opponent, and that's when they take bad penalties.
Yes.
And
we're going to
get
more power plays.
Be the opportunity to capitalize on those.
Yeah, we use that second line and speed on the first line. Those guys. There's going to be more penalties. More penalties equals more power plays. More power plays equals
wins
and goals. Yeah. So we got lots to look forward to. I'm more optimistic sitting here right now than I have been in the last couple months. Because I've been pretty hard on these guys.
You've been a little pessimistic.
That's right. I've had to have therapy about it. But now,
not totally optimistic. You've been pessimistic.
Yeah, I have been. But now I'm into it. I'm into it. I'm back. Just like the Habs are back. I'm into it and I'm back.
Say fabulous.
Fabulous.
When is Drew Deeks coming back?
Well, Drew Deeks is tied up with
we're hoping he comes back.
Yeah, well,
and
like to see
I think you might see something in Videoland from Drew Deeks very shortly.
He's on injury reserved right now.
Very shortly.
He's AWOL. But you know what? If he comes back, that'd be fantastic because he's a fun guy to have in the studio and he's knowledgeable about hockey. And people asked about him. Vince Hudon, he said, "Where's that Deeks guy?"
Exactly, and I gotta believe Drew last night was just as ecstatic as he's ever been when. With meeting Slav, I mean, and now, now we have got this guy named Laine.
Oh, yeah. Well, Drew will be commenting on this video. Like, we want you to comment on the video. Let us know what you think. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Subscribe, share it. Get your friends to subscribe. We want to hit 100 before the new year. Let's get 100 subscribers to the channel so we can all talk and all share the good news that we're going to see in the next month.
Absolutely.
Subscribe. Don't get the notifications so you know when I post these crazy videos. Let's go, and let's go Habs. Go Habs, go.
Go Habs, go.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Merci beaucoup.
And we'll see you next week at noon on Habsolutely
Ciao, ciao.
Live out of the studios of 4680Q in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. And you know what, anybody out there, Vince Hudon, and the rest of you, if you're ever in Niagara Falls on a Wednesday, come into Niagara Falls or anything, let us know.
Bring a pizza.
Bring a pizza because that makes me happy. But let us know. We might get you in the studio here. We'll figure a way out.
Bring a pizza and you'll definitely get in the studio.
Bring a bribe. Bring a bribe down to 4680Q. Anyway, take care, everybody. My name is Paul Killamere. This is John Filion.
Jean-Louis Filion.
That's right.
Ciao, ciao.
That's the French version. And we're out of here. Have a great day. Go Habs, go. We'll see what next week brings, but I think we're going to be very happy, all of us.
Christmas is coming.
I think we're going to be happy. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you next week at noon.